Hey, real estate fans, quick update for you on what's happening in the market. Okay, so I'm going to preface with just a quick article here to run you through exactly what we're seeing in March. And then I'm going to talk to you about a really cool opportunity we have that we think is quite enticing and quite exciting. So, step one, March tells a pretty interesting story. Okay, and I want to preface with the fact that Canada is one of the only countries in the G7, G20, one of the only countries in the world that actually allows mortgage interest to contribute to CPI, meaning that higher interest rates are also contributing to higher inflation. And what we did was increase interest rates to curb inflation. So it's kind of like a dog chasing its tail in a sense. And what that means is, well, you may know from my other market updates that the target rate for the Bank of Canada to start reducing rates, or at least maintain holding rates, is a target inflation rate of 2%. Okay, we're looking for a target inflation rate of 2%. But February's numbers were 2.8. 80 basis points, that 0.8 contribution came directly from mortgage interest. And we're not even considering rent. Rent was another 45 basis points, okay, contribution to CPI. So we're actually well below 2 if we remove interest costs from that bucket. So that's quite interesting, something to consider. We're actually a lot closer to where we need to be than what may be advertised from the numbers that I can interpret. Now, what does that mean for March? Well, sales are down. Sales volume is the lowest we've seen in March since 2009. Since 2009. Why, would you ask? Why are sales down? Well, it takes time for the positivity to take effect in the market. But the positive piece, well, depending on your position, if you're buying or selling, but the numbers are up, the sold prices are up, the values are up because of the confidence in the interest rate sector. Now, what do I see happening throughout April and May? I see a massive uptick in transaction volume. As the weather turns, people are more out and about, back to routine. The pandemic is old news. Now it's a matter of where we go from here. We're definitely at the top of the mountain looking down versus the bottom looking up. The predictability in what's to come has returned. So this is a great article that really sums it up in simple terms from CBC. Okay, you can check it out if you like. It was just posted yesterday. But essentially, sales are down. Who cares? There's not much of a story that's told when sales are down, right? Whether I sell one Ferrari or 100 Ferraris, it's still a Ferrari. And Toronto real estate, GTA real estate, is the Ferrari, okay? The big thing to note is that the prices are up. We're actually up 20%. The average is 20% from pre-pandemic numbers. We're up 20%, okay? Affordability is getting more difficult because of the lending requirements, because of the strict lending practices. But what that also does for investors is make sure that we have a really well-insulated market. So as difficult as it is to get in, it's possible, and that keeps us insulated and protected from any potential risks, okay? But the big stuff is there. Household savings, awesome, incredible. Great household savings in Canada, especially when we compare ourselves to our big brother to the south, to the United States. Okay, home sales, again, this doesn't concern me. It's not really a massively relevant statistic. It's interesting to note, but it doesn't say much to me in terms of buyer narrative or buyer excitement. Okay, we have seasonality with spring. Our spring's just a bit delayed. And the technical definition of a spring market in real estate would be after March break, but we're just kind of delayed. COVID threw everything out of whack, threw seasonality out of whack. Since the start of it. And the big things to note is that the prices are up 1.3% year over year, but when we separate into buckets, Toronto core is about 3-4% higher. Periphery markets are about 6 to 7% higher, and price-wise. And I see that really continuing. Basically, the big thing is, it's interesting to note that prices are appreciating, okay? Prices are appreciating even before rates drop. It's really interesting. The prices are appreciating even before the rates drop. And for people to be able to afford more, for buyers to be able to afford more, we need those rates to ultimately drop, right? That's what we That's what we need. That's what we want to see so that purchasing power improves. Until that happens, until rates actually cut, people can't afford more. We're capped. And every 1% reduction in interest rates in the Bank of Canada overnight rate increases purchasing power by 12%. The popular consensus right now is that we're going to see around 3 to 4 rate cuts throughout 2024. 4 is the magic number, which will happen in the latter half of the year by most economists' predictions. That being said, if I was putting money on it, I'd probably say we're going to hold on April 10th, but I don't think I'd be surprised if we cut earlier than anticipated. I don't think it would shock me if rates were to cut on April 10th, if the Bank of Canada was to cut rates April 10th. So I'm excited. Anyway, there's your high-level update. I want to share some stuff on Q Tower with you. This is really cool, coming to Queens Quay. It's a phenomenal project by Lifetime and Diamond Corp, 2 top-tier developers, wealth of experience. Why I like this a lot right now is because they're finishing up their first tranche of inventory. Okay, they are finishing up their first tranche of inventory, meaning there's some really special incentives before prices go up. Now, what's sexy about this building is the self-facing protected water views. When you're above the 38th floor, you have clear, unobstructed south-facing views. There's none of those left available. But from an investment perspective, the higher price we pay to face south compared to facing north, the trade-off isn't necessarily there, and we don't need that to make a smart investment decision. The north-facing views are sensational. It's a 60-story tower. The east and west views are sensational, and the price per square foot changes dramatically when we have the north, south, the north, east, or west facing units. There's only a handful of suites left. There's some wicked terrace units. There's some beautiful views on higher floors, just not south. But that makes this attractive to me because what makes a great investment? Connectivity, access to transit, job growth, and career opportunities where tenants are going to have a great profile because they have great jobs and secure jobs, which they have here in Toronto. And the growth of the infrastructure, the investment being made in this pocket is sensational. You don't get much more core Toronto than this. We have a lot of growth in the West End at the Mr. Christie site. Park Lawn and Lakeshore is going to be phenomenal, but it's not downtown core. We've got a ton of wicked growth coming to the Donlands on the East End. Great, but it's not Toronto core. Building permits are plummeting. So the new supply that we have is going to be very scarce, very limited. The other thing that makes this a very sexy investment is that it's taking occupancy in 2030. 2030. You're basically betting on Toronto. You're betting on all the great things that Toronto has to offer, why people are coming here, immigration, going nuts, quality of life, and obviously the value of our dollar compared to the world. So there's a lot of reasons to love Q Tower. We've done a few deals here, and we really like it. We like the developer. We like everything. I'm going to show you a couple things quickly. Here's the building. I'll try to keep this short and sweet. It's just loading. But again, great developers, great design, 60 stories. Queens Quay proper. There's a 5-story parking garage right there on Lower Simcoe and Queens Quay. If you're familiar with that pocket, with that area, that's where this is going if you ever drive down the Gardiner. So here we are. Here's Queens Quay. Here's Lower Simcoe. Okay. Steam whistle. CN Tower. So it doesn't get much more downtown core than that. This is the tower in front of you. So for those south-facing units to be unobstructed, you want to be north of, truly, you'd want to be north of the 38th floor. Okay, 60-story tower. There's the water. Okay, so those south-facing views are quite cool. But what I like, the east-facing view, because of this really cool curve on Harbor, you've kind of got this New York-style view right down Harbor Street. There's not a building looking right at you, okay? And that's to the east. And to the west, you're also protected here because these buildings are too tall to take down at this time, but you're actually looking right down the Gardiner. So that's also very cool. And you may get glimpses of the water as well. And the north-facing, pretty sweet. There's not a bad view in the house. You've got clear views, kind of that northwest. That's northwest toward the CN Tower, toward, Roundhouse Park, Roundhouse Brewery, Steam Whistle Brewery, right? Sky Dome over here for perspective. You got the new CIBC towers right over here. That's the new TD building here. So a lot of growth, a lot of things to be excited about. York Street, Lower Simcoe, and here's Queens Quay. Okay, this is Lakeshore. Pretty cool. Pretty impressive stuff. And I'm going to show you quickly a couple floor plans. So this is the remaining inventory now. When you look at it, Size, 361 square feet. That's a studio. Prices are here depending on the floors. So higher floors, higher price. There's a $3,000 premium per floor. If it doesn't get you a clear view, if it doesn't get you a better view, lower is fine. Okay, the only time we want to pay a premium for higher view is if it's going to get us some benefit. If it clears a building or gives us a significantly better opportunity to see something, then sure, it's worth it. Some of my favorite units are down here. Okay, they'll just close to 500 square foot, one bedrooms. I really like these north facing, bedroom and a bath proper, no den. I'm not big on dens. The reversion value, the resale value, you don't get the same increment back. So 488, really nice square-ish layout. This is one of the ones I really love. You've got a balcony facing north. Okay, I can zoom in, I guess, a bit, but you enter here, washer, dryer, closet, which is awesome to have. You've got a full bathroom with a shower, great size, and then I won't zoom in. You can see there the living room. Functional kitchen, double walkout from the bedroom, full closet. It's functional. It's all you need for downtown Toronto. Perfect rental profile, perfect investor unit, basically. If you click on the building tab here, it'll show you exactly where it is in the building. It'll highlight itself in black. The key, we don't need to wait for that. You can do it yourself. Here's the key plan. So it'll show you where it is in the building. Pardon me. It'll show you exactly where it is. So you're kind of northeast-ish facing, okay? And then you can actually play with the view. This is really cool. So you can see exactly what the view is going to look like. So this is your view from that suite. Like, how cool is that? So you've got your north view, okay? You can kind of see down Lakeshore there when we go to the west, but it's the east that you'll have a little more exposure to some of the cool buildings. I live right over there, and our office is right over there. Pretty cool, okay? But gorgeous views from here. So you can play with this, and then the features of the suites are right here too. This is included in your email, so go through it. Use my email, sales@tylermcclay.com. It'll grant you access, and you can play with all this cool stuff. Neighborhood, you can explore what's going on, what's around, okay? You can see what some of the popular, attractions are, but I mean, you don't get much more downtown core than this. You've got 100 walk score, 100 transit score. You've got 100 bike, walkability, transit. Those are the three. I'm sorry. You got 100 bike, 100 transit, 100 walk score. Okay, so you can play with that a little bit. Gallery, what it's going to look like. Really cool building, okay? Architectural marvel. It's quite impressive. Lobby's going to be insane. They have some really cool artwork that's actually owned by the building. Here's your amenities. You can click on that and see some of the second floor amenities. The style is going to be sensational. Third floor amenities as well. So play with this. I'll move my head. This is more exciting than me, I think. A kid's room, dog park, pickleball court, some of the things that you're going to want. Interior suite finishes are sensational. The standard finishes are really impressive. Okay, but again, the big things for me here is location, deposit structure, and 2030 occupancy makes it a no-brainer. Really a no-brainer. Okay, so it's quite cool. I'll leave this to you guys to play with. And then the developers, a little bit about Diamond Corp and Lifetime. They are quite impressive. So again, floor plans, you can go through these. This is the remaining inventory. The next tranche prices will go up. Okay, next tranche prices will go up. So from an investment perspective, you want to get in sooner than later. I like the two beds, two baths. I like the one bed, one baths. I'm not big on dens myself. Like something like this, you're not going to get that same return on the den from a price per square foot perspective. And you don't need it. If you have to go work, you go work in the lounge. You go work at a coffee shop. Like that's what young people do. You don't need that. And if you really need to work from home, you work from here. You work from here. Okay, you don't need that den. It's not worth paying for from an investment perspective. The extra square footage is nice, but that extra square footage is wasted kind of here. Okay, and then you've got a more linear plan. I prefer. See, again, the den, it's not as nice. Two bedroom proper. These are sensational. These ones are actually some of the few that are still facing southeast, and the price point makes a lot of sense. We're obsessed with those units. We sold 3 of those. Really, really cool on the higher floors. 40's gone because we just sold that, but 39 still has a great view. 36 and 37, you'll still have a really good view. You might have the building obstruct a little bit from that one we saw, but other than that unit, everything else is going to be north. Northeast or west, okay? Some of these funky layouts I don't like. Again, a study, who cares? That's your study. It's just a wall, a bump out in a wall, who cares? I don't like that unit. If you want my thoughts on the units, let me know. But people don't like an unconventional layout. You want to go as conventional as possible. Perfect square, Okay, this one's sensational. 1 bedroom proper, 1 bedroom, 1 bathroom. Great balcony, perfect square, that's efficient, okay, that's great. This one I talked to you about, the 488, I really do like. And then there's a couple 2 bedrooms that I like with terraces. This is a 2-bed, 2-bath proper with a terrace, okay, because you're on the 6th floor, so you get a really nice terrace there. So nothing above you either. But play with these, see what you think, and yeah, that's all. If you want more info on this one, let me know. They're flying, and prices are going to go up soon. We get $10,000 off the listed price for our clients because we're us. And we also get an extended deposit structure. We get some other cool incentives. So if you're curious on Q Tower, give us a call. Phenomenal project. And hope to talk to you guys very, very soon. Have a great day.